Okay, so today we're diving into a mystery that was literally hidden for decades, buried inside a lost manuscript. But here's the thing, this isn't just your standard whodunit. Oh no, this is a journey through layers and layers of secrets, where every time you think you found the truth, you realize it's just another lie, covering up something even darker.
And it all kicks off in the most perfect way, doesn't it? A big, old, decaying country house. A group of total strangers gathered together. And then their elderly host, a woman named Viola Arden, just drops this line. And boom, suddenly you realize this isn't just about reading some boring will. This is about murder.
All right, let's get into the setup. You've got this elderly woman, Viola Arden, literally on her deathbed. But before she goes, there's one thing she has to do: solve a cold case. A case that's been haunting her for 24 long years. And how's she going to do it? By summoning a group of strangers to her home, each one with a secret connection to what happened all those years ago.
And you really have to appreciate the timeline here. We're talking about a huge gap in time. It all starts way back in 1951. A young companion named Rose dies in a fall, and everyone just writes it off as a tragic accident. Fast forward 24 years to 1975. That's when Viola gets the children of the original guests all in one room. And now, today, we're the ones finally putting all the pieces of this puzzle together.
So you might be asking, who are these people Viola dragged out to her crumbling mansion? Well, they're not random, not at all. Each one of them is an inheritor. But they're not inheriting money, at least not yet. They're inheriting their parents' secrets. You've got Jeffrey, Dora, and Helena, all kids of the original guests. Then there's Peter, Viola's own nephew, and this kinda shady solicitor. The main thing to get here is that they're all stand-ins. They're basically proxies for the ghosts of 1951.
And this is where it gets really good. Viola lays out this incredible offer. She tells them straight up, "I believe one of your parents murdered Rose." And then she dangles the ultimate prize. The first person to crack this 24-year-old cold case gets everything, her entire fortune. The game is officially on.
So at first, it seems like we might get a quick answer. As they dig through all these dusty old documents and letters scattered around the house, a story starts to form. You know, a classic motive, a pretty clear suspect. It really feels like, okay, we've got this, case closed. Let's see how this first version of the truth comes together.
The first huge clue actually comes from the victim, Rose herself. It's from her diary, the very last entry she ever wrote, on the night she died. Chilling, right? She knew something. She'd seen something she wasn't supposed to. And you can just feel the fear in her words. She knew she was in danger. But the big question is, what did she see?
And then, bam, a total bombshell. It comes from Viola's nephew, Peter. He pulls out this letter from his dead father, Thomas, and it confirms everything. It was murder. Now, Thomas swears he didn't do the deed himself, but, and this is huge, he knows who did. And he helped them hide it. So just like that, we're not just looking for a lone killer anymore, we're looking for a conspiracy.
Okay, so with these new clues in hand, that whole official story about a tragic accident, yeah, that completely falls apart. A brand new theory pops up. This wasn't an accident, it was a crime of passion. The story goes that Rose stumbled upon a secret affair between Viola's brother, Thomas, and her supposed best friend, Margaret Shaw. So, in a fit of pure rage, Margaret pushed her, silenced her for good. Simple, clean. Case closed, right?
But come on, in a story like this, the first answer is never the real answer. It's time to peel back another layer of this onion. Because it turns out that whole crime of passion story, it was just a cover. A cover for something way more calculated and way more greedy.
And this is the question that really blows the whole thing open. Think about it. In a house just overflowing with secrets and old money, is a simple affair really a big enough motive for murder? And for a cover-up that lasts for decades and involves multiple people? I don't know. It feels kind of thin, doesn't it? There has to be something bigger at play here.
And here it is, £5,000. That was the value of a life insurance policy taken out on Viola Arden back in 1951. Now, I know that doesn't sound like a ton of money today, but trust me, back then, that was an absolute fortune. And just like that, the motive completely shifts. It's not about passion anymore. It's about pure, cold profit.
So with this new motive, a much, much darker plot starts to take shape. See, the real target was never Rose at all. It was always Viola. The plan was to murder the supposedly unstable heiress and get their hands on her massive fortune through her easily manipulated brother, Thomas. But Rose, the loyal companion, she figured it out. She discovered the whole plot. She wasn't just a random victim of rage. She was an obstacle that had to be removed.
So there we have it. The real conspiracy is out in the open. Margaret Shaw was the killer, and her motive was greed, plain and simple. It really feels like we've finally got the truth. But then, something incredible happens. Decades after this whole story was written and forgotten, a sequel manuscript shows up. And it's got one last, absolutely mind-bending twist.
All right, so we've got our killer, we've got the motive, we've got the whole cover-up figured out. The case is finally, for real this time, closed, right? Well, the original story ends right there. But this newly discovered manuscript, it reveals that we've been pointing the finger at the wrong person this entire time.
And this final piece of the puzzle comes from this amazing literary discovery, a sequel manuscript that contains hidden letters. And these letters, written between the actual conspirators, they completely reframe everything we thought we knew. They show us that the true mastermind was not who we thought it was, not by a long shot.
These letters, they lay it all bare. The architect of this whole twisted plot wasn't the impulsive, hot-headed Margaret Shaw. No, it was Dora's mother, Dora Clement, the quiet, grieving widow that absolutely no one would have ever suspected. She wasn't just a bystander. She was the strategist, the planner, the real power pulling all the strings. I mean, just think about this final reversal. Margaret Shaw, the woman we pegged as the mastermind, turns out she was just the hot-headed accomplice, the one who actually carried out the murder. And Dora Clement, the quiet little widow in the corner, she was the true architect of the entire conspiracy. This changes everything, especially for poor Dora, her daughter, who has just spent her life trying to solve a crime that her own mother planned from the very beginning.
So now that the full, unvarnished truth is finally out, what does it all really mean? Well, the story stops being just a murder mystery. It becomes this really powerful meditation on the secrets we inherit and the incredible weight those secrets carry, even across generations.
This idea is really the core of the whole thing. Call it inherited guilt. These children, they're literally haunted by sins they didn't commit. Their entire lives have been shaped and twisted by secrets they didn't even know were there. It just goes to show you, the past is never really gone, is it?
So, after all that, what are the big takeaways from this incredible literary puzzle? Well, for one, the truth is almost never simple. It comes out in layers, one at a time. A story that seems straightforward on the surface can be hiding a much more complex and usually much darker reality. Sometimes solving one mystery just opens the door to an even deeper one. And maybe most importantly, secrets have weight, a real weight that can echo down through a family for generations.
And all of this leaves us with one final kind of haunting question, doesn't it? This whole story was dug up from a lost manuscript. It makes you wonder, how many other family secrets just like this one, are still buried out there, just waiting for someone to find their sequel?